Right, I am public and live. Wonderful. Right, so while I wait for people to pour in, actually that's what I need to do. I need to share the link. What? I keep forgetting how to get to the link on here. It's through the YouTube studio. But anyways, hello. Welcome back. I am back again to live stream. This is actually more of a test live stream, to be honest, because I want to make sure that all my equipment and live stream stuff is configured, because obviously there's a Pokemon Direct next week on the Wednesday, and I just want to make sure that everything's in tip-top order. So, right. There we go. All set up and sent on Twitter. And I suppose I'll put it in my Discord as well, because why not? Yeah, that'll do. Very well, we shall start. So yeah, Mario Kart 8, this is just going to be quite chill, I think. And I'm now going to look away from my monitor and look at the TV screen, which I'll need to move a little bit, actually. See, the thing is with Mario Kart 8 is that I don't usually mind playing games straight from the Streamlabs monitor, especially if it's on the DS, because it's already way bigger than the original screen. But the problem is that Mario Kart 8, it's better to use the TV because it's actually, I'm not sure, because the stream goes from the TV, no, from the Switch into the computer and then back out again. I don't know, but I get the impression that it's a bit more responsive than if I just use the screen. You know, I'm just going to start by playing by myself. 50, we'll go 150. I'm not ready to play with other people just yet. I'm not so... Well, actually, I'm sort of good at it. Sort of. Not really. It depends. It varies a lot. I'll just play as Bowser, as I usually do. Because he is... Do they still do the weight thing in Mario Kart? I don't know. He's supposed to be a heavyweight. Alright, let's... Okay, I think this is a comfortable place to sit. Let me know if the audio is okay talking like this, because if it is not, I will need to fix that. But let's do orange. I haven't. Yeah, I'll do this one. And we start with Warrior's Gold Mine, or as it is in the Japanese, just a mine, not a gold mine. Actually, no, that's not true. Kozan. Yeah, Wario Kozan. I know Kozan is like a mine. I think, no. It's not gold core, it's... No, that's ko. So this is... Yeah, it's not, it's just mine. It'd be easier to see if it was in kanji and not just hiragana. But see, then it says there. Whoa! And into the lead. Ow. Okay, you know what? I will look at chat later. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anyone here anyways at the moment, so... No point in me looking at chat when there is nothing to see, and also I'm going to risk crashing. Which is a useful reminder that you should not look at a phone screen, or any kind of screen, and drive. Dangerous idea. When you're racing against the CPU, you don't really need to take the shortcuts. That's only really something you need to worry about if you are racing against real people. Which I suppose I'll do soon enough. But I need to finish all of these. Oh, no. Wow, I hit both of those. Oh. I thought I was going to make that. Oh. Wait, no! Okay, that's not fair. Okay, we can recover, we can recover. I think. I will not forgive myself if I cannot win this race. That'll keep him busy. Okay, this is pretty close, actually. Oh, stroke of luck. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're getting close again. I'm gonna see if I can overtake... Who is it that's in front? Mario. I'm gonna see if I can... Oh. Okay, you know what? I might just have to use... I'm hoping it won't come to this. Okay, I'm in first. All I need to do is keep this up. Oh god. Right. I'm gonna keep this behind me. Because you know what happens last minute before the finish line? Okay, there we go. Perfect. Next. Actually, I wonder, did I set it to notify people that I was live streaming? I hope not. Oh, Rainbow Road. Oh, and of course it says SFC because it's Super Famicom instead of SNES. Ready? There we go. I got a little bit of a boost. You gotta be careful when you're in first. Okay, we're gonna go left. Whoa! I'm gonna drift all the way around. Oh, that was close. Oh my god. YouTube is telling me there is a problem, but I cannot pay attention to that right now. Oh, shoot. Whoa. I avoided that one real smooth. Oh, okay. There we go. That was close. I've had so many near misses. Okay, am I going to get a mushroom? Oh. Another close call. I've been... Oh, God. Yeah, those... I've been pretty lucky so far. Right. I'll keep an eye out for any shells. Oh! Oh! Fuck. Oh, excuse me. That did not mean for that to come out. I need to mind my language. Oh! Okay, well, that had the same effect. Someone back there is trying really hard to slow me down. But it's not going to work. What are my next projects or plans? That is a good question. Let's see. Well, obviously, there's the stuff that I'm writing about Legends Arceus. Well, that's more of the stuff for next year, but there is one video that I'm trying to do. But obviously, they announced this thing for next week, so I kind of have to wait to see what they're going to put in that, and then it's going to take a while to edit. So I don't know when that's going to come out, but longer videos, because I kind of want to do longer videos, but it takes longer to do, obviously. After that, there's more stuff for Fontendo, which is still in the works. It's been a while. I had someone do something for me in Japan, actually, for one of the videos, because I was supposed to go over there last summer, and, well, actually this summer as well. So I had stuff planned, people to speak to, places to visit, but I couldn't, so I had to get someone to go to, well, someone who was in Tokyo to pay a couple places a visit for me and take some footage so that I could use it for my video. Hopefully it'll be all worth it. They did a good job. You know, someone I could trust. But that's the thing, it's a difficult change to get used to, because normally when I've made videos in the past, it's generally been very short things, because I tend to talk very fast in videos and I write short scripts. Information dense but short. So normally I get things out quicker, and then obviously my style of editing usually means I get stuff out quicker, but this time I'm kind of changing stuff because I wasn't happy with exactly what I was doing for videos. And I just want to make sure that I can make higher quality stuff, which is why it's taking longer, basically. I have much more rigorous quality control than I used to have. Because actually, I said I was going to write stuff for a video today, but instead what I ended up doing was I proofread the introduction that I wrote for the video, and just went through that and fixed a bunch of stuff, reworded a bunch of stuff. Because sometimes that's all you can do. It's been a bit difficult to find motivation to write recently. That's the other thing. Waking up and just, you know, having the feeling that you're gonna write. Because that's the thing for me, like, if I don't feel like writing when I sit down, it's just gonna be crap. I need to be in that headspace to write. Which, I don't know, it might sound a little bit pretentious, but it's true, like, without that feeling, especially for, like, when I'm writing about Legends Arceus recently, because it's actually involved a lot of reading. I've spent quite a bit on books and sources, you know, trying to find stuff with actual citations that I can, you know, put down as references. And it's a lot more effort. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, crap. Which is obviously good, because you want a video to be factual, but at the same time, it's just a bit draining. Which is the other issue, because... Oh, crap, I finished second. Great. That's wonderful. I'm not going to get my nice 3-star gold trophy. I mean, I'm still in the lead here, but... when it comes to, oh, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, when it comes to things like Legends Arceus, it's such a, you know, like a big, hot topic that all the people that just talk about Pokemon and nothing else on YouTube, like, have you seen how quick they, like, churn out these videos at, like, I mean, it sounds a bit not nice, but it is almost like a constant stream of video diarrhea, like all these Pokemon videos. But none of them are any good. All the ones I've seen so far that have attempted to talk about Legends Arceus either take things straight off of, like... We're not even, like, the top half of a Wikipedia page, but, like, that, you know, like that little summary you get on Google. You know, when you, like, Google something and it gives you information about a topic. Yeah, they just, like, read that off and are like, okay, this is good enough. I don't need to do any more actual checking of the sources. And that really annoyed me. Because then the other issue is that even if you spend more time to be more thorough, you'll get people, and this has happened to me on Twitter when I posted little bits of information, you'll get people that say, oh, but this person said this YouTuber said this, you know, or whatever. Even, like, when you, and you can, well, like, you can be like, well, it's wrong, it's incorrect, but do they care? Not really. How am I doing? Vincent, hello, welcome. I'm doing not bad. A little bit tired. Today, Fridays are always very tiring for me because it's the end of the week and, or the working week, I suppose. Oh, not really for me because I don't actually do any proper work, I suppose, but, oh, great, I missed it again. But I do Japanese lessons on a Friday, and they're always very long. And then, well, obviously quite intensive because it's all in Japanese. So that kind of, it tires you out. And then other stuff that needed sorted. I've been very busy recently. And I've been trying to get back into doing stuff for YouTube, which makes me even more busy. You know. Because I'm supposed to be preparing for going back to university, but at the same time I've been job hunting, you know, in the hopes that maybe I can get a job and not have to go back to university. Oh, okay, that was a mistake. Okay, I need to get a move on, otherwise they're going to chase after me. Job hunt has not been particularly successful so far. Most places never reply. Actually, that's not true. The only places, well, I've heard back from some places. The only places I've ever actually had emails back from are Japanese companies. Western companies don't seem to bother anymore. You just send in your application and you never hear back. But Japanese companies at least are very polite to at least say, you know, not this time or whatever. And of course, as you may know from seeing my Twitter, I was invited back to one company for further vetting, and that was Nintendo. Although obviously I didn't pass the web test. I tried, but alas, it was a little bit too difficult. I'm not quite. Well, I mean, it wasn't really what I was expecting. I think that was the main problem. Do I want to do that, or actually, you know what? Let's go online. You had to look at Sinhala, but it looks interesting. But I believe it's very similar to Japanese in some aspects, Sinhalese, actually. Because of, I think the word order is kind of similar. But also, actually, it's kind of, I can't remember, there's a linguistic term for it, but like Japanese, in Sinhalese, you can just like drop off like the vast majority of a sentence and still have it be understood, which is great. Oh, we'll play with people from around the world in a race as Bowser, or Koopa, as he is called in Japanese. Okay, memberを探している. Oh yeah, I'm 100% reapplying next year. No, it was a really interesting experience actually, applying to a Japanese company like Nintendo. They are very like strict. But actually not, in some respects, not as strict with certain procedures as I thought. But it was, yeah. You're planning on learning just the script? Yeah, well, it's very curly. It is a little, oh wow, mine got picked. 150cc. I'm the only English person. I mean, British person. I keep getting confused, obviously, because in Japanese they say Igirisu, Deutsche, Nihon. 3 Japanese people, mostly Germans. Yeah, they do want a lot of stuff in handwritten. Well, actually, that's sort of half true. About, well, maybe like half a decade ago, Nintendo still did a lot of handwritten stuff. I only had to hand in one thing that was handwritten, actually. The entry sheet now is completely digital and online. The web tests are completely online. Interviews are also held online. I didn't get that far, but yeah. So they had several written exams that I had to do. Most of them were like done all at once. Like I had to, you know, wake up and be on my computer, and because obviously I had to be monitored, so I had to put my webcam on and stuff, and I had to wear a suit, which was a bit strange. I've never had to wear a suit on a you know, a Zoom call before, but there was that, and then the last bit of the, because they call it Hikishiken, written exam, so the last bit of that was I got notified by email on the Monday, and then for the next Monday, I had to, like... They gave me, like, something I had to print out, basically. Oh. I had to print it out and then write all my stuff on this piece of paper, this exam that I had to write. It was called the freeform essay component. And then I had to scan that into my computer and then send it as a PDF. Which actually wasn't too hard. I just got a new printer scanner. Oh. Oh, god damn it. I think the best thing, though, is I was just actually really surprised that Nintendo accepted my application in the first place. I wasn't sure how it would go, but... Yeah, it was interesting. I mean... I feel like everyone was kind of staring at me on the Zoom call when we had to go in for the test. Because there was about a dozen people. And out of that... I was the only non-Japanese person. So that was quite strange, you know, being in that environment. But the guy that was running it was very nice, the human resources person. Kaito Ohara was his name. Oh my god, can I... Unfortunately, I'm too far behind. Actually, it was quite early. I had to wake up at like 6 o'clock or something. The test was at like 7:30 Britain time. Because it was done in Japan. I think the main problem is that when I did the first part of the test and I pressed the button to start, it was like... Because normally when at Japanese companies you do what's called a... what was it? They call it like an SPI test or like a suitability test, like a... What do they call it? Tekisei Kensa. Which is just, usually it's multiple choice and you have questions like maths, logic problems, English and Japanese. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then I opened up the first part of the test and I panicked because it was completely different to what I practiced for. And it involved a lot of typing and stuff. And that kind of freaked me out. So I left... I managed to do okay answers for the other parts of the questions, but the first section I left most of the answers blank, which I think was probably what... They probably got tipped off and thought, okay, this guy's not ready. Well, I am a Westerner. I'm not ethnically Arab. I think a lot of people seem to have that mistake. I'm British, but... Actually, that was kind of one of the unique things I wrote on my entry sheet, is that growing up abroad, as a foreigner anyways, from a Japanese perspective, but, you know, with a knowledge of Arab culture and the Arabic language and whatnot, I thought I was in a very unique position to offer my skills to a Japanese company. That's what I was told. I spoke to a couple developers. I spoke to a guy that worked for Square Enix, actually, over Skype. I was very grateful for that, actually. Because I was supposed to be meeting developers when I was in Japan. I had stuff set up before I went, well, before I was supposed to go, but then obviously it got cancelled. So I ended up talking to a bunch of developers over Skype. And this guy from Square Enix spoke to me, and he basically said, like, Japanese companies like Square Enix, the main thing is, if you're a foreigner, you know, showcasing your skills and, like, what you can bring that's unique. That was the main thing. So that's what I focused on. Valentino. Hello, welcome. Yeah, we're doing alright. I'm playing Mario Kart against real people, which is why I'm not doing so well. Yeah, I can only, unfortunately, there's only so much I can say about my application to Nintendo because I was asked specifically to not say much and keep the contents of the exam confidential. So, yeah, there's not really much else I can say, actually, because I want to do it. do what they say. No, I don't work at Nintendo. I was going to. Well, I say close. I'm probably as close as any applicant from abroad has ever been, actually. I applied from abroad. They accepted my application, and they sent me an email and were like, you know, we like your application. Can you come and do this web exam for us at this time? So I did the web exam, and I for a foreigner who speaks Japanese as a second language, I think I did okay. Because the tests aren't designed for people like me. They're designed for Japanese people. And I didn't do so well on the first section because it was different to what I had revised for. And I panicked a little bit. So I didn't do so well on that, which is, I think, why the first part, which is why they said that, you know, thank you for applying, but the test results weren't up to standard. But they never told me what exactly it was. I wish they did, but they don't. So, you know, that's that. But next year. But I have all my stuff saved, you know, so I can reapply with the same kind of stuff. And see what happens. I mean, I have other plans. I mean, there's a whole bunch. I applied to Game Freak as well, but Game Freak just, like, a week later rejected my application. It took Nintendo a month to get back to me. There was, like, 13,000 applicants, I think. And the test I was in, there was only 12 people left in my part, I think. Actually, that's not true. They do, like, 4 different hiring sections per year. I was in hiring section 3 for planning. Production planning. So, what did I do? I did... Yeah, so there was about 13,000 people overall. Probably more, actually. About 16,000, I'd reckon. Maybe more. In total. In my section of the application for what I was applying for, there was about 24 people left. And in the web test that I did, the Zoom call I was in, there was only about a dozen people, including me. And out of all those, I was the only foreigner. But the good thing about that is that if you are the only foreigner, you'll be remembered. Which is an advantage. Why is this channel underrated? That's a good question, probably because I don't make videos enough. But hopefully, with what I have planned, things are going to get much better. I've been learning some new editing techniques, so I'm hoping that that is going to help. You know, make things look a little bit nicer. There we go, cut across. I like doing that with the mushrooms. I'm not doing so well at the online play, am I? Right, just screw everything, just... No! Oh, great. Oh, right, I'm gonna be in last place. Yep, I am in last place, it's official. Wow. This is embarrassing. What is the objective in Mario Kart? Well, have you never played Mario Kart before? It's just like racing. You know, you want to become first. Oh. Yeah, I'm not doing so well. This is online currently, yeah, I'm playing online against people. Originally, I was playing Cups Grand Prix, but now I'm playing online. What are we doing? Let's see. Wario, Wario Snow Mountain, Neo Koopa City. Oh, Oh, of course, it's called Neo Bowser City in the American version, but it's called Koopa City in the EU version. We're gonna go with Mute City will be popular. I'll go Mute City. A couple randoms. Mostly Mount Wario, or Wario Snow Mountain as it's called in Japanese. Any new videos coming out? Good question. Is it Sean? I'm gonna guess it's Sean. I'm not familiar with that spelling. Sort of. I am working on something right now. Well, not right this moment because I'm playing Mario Kart, obviously, but I have been working on stuff. I was writing stuff today. Yeah, so like I said, the next thing is a video about Pokemon Legends Arceus. Just like, obviously, when the actual game comes out, there's going to be a lot more analysis videos going up about Pokemon Legends Arceus and obviously Diamond and Pearl 2. But when we get the new trailer... and I've been writing stuff since we got the first trailer, but just basically a kind of cultural context and historical outline as to what we can expect in Pokemon Legends Arceus based on the time period in Japanese history that it's based on, as well as all of the stuff I've seen so far. Because, believe it or not, I could probably spend... Actually, the video might actually be an hour long, I'm not sure. It could be. I don't want to make it that long, but last video I did on Pokemon was half an hour long. And I suspect it will definitely be longer than that. So, this looks like it might be a 40-50 minute job. Oh. Why is the game in Japanese? Because I can speak Japanese. I mean, well, obviously, it's always a learning process. I'm probably conversationally fluent, actually, at this point. See, the problem is I haven't done a Japanese exam in so long, I don't actually know what my proper ability is. I'm spending too much time reading chat, this is why I'm not doing so good at this. Mario Kart, to be honest, Mario Kart actually, from like, my perspective, being able to speak Japanese, like, Mario Kart 8 actually, right now, doesn't actually provide any learning opportunities, because I can already pretty much understand the contents of the game. Like, it's not hard to understand. It's mainly for exposure, you know. That's one of the important thing about language is that you keep up that exposure, and just, for me, being able to read stuff, like, because my reading is the worst, actually, is, you know, it helps sort of maintain that while I'm dealing with new vocabulary and words. You know, this is more familiar and stuff that I can read. So, it's not really about learning, it's just about keeping myself exposed to the language. Oh, great. Oh, that was good. Oh, 6th place, that's not bad. Maybe make a two-parter more V. Yeah, I did think about that, but I a lot of people suggested that to me, but I like to get everything out all in one, you know. But that's the thing. Later on, I did announce it on Twitter. I'm doing a whole series about Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Sinnoh and Legends Arceus. It's being a whole thing. I actually, no, we'll go with Dobutsu no Mori. Recently, actually today, I just got a message from someone I'm commissioning some music off of, the credits theme for my new series that I'm writing, for my channel. And it was so good. It was really good. It's only, like, the first third of the theme's done, I think. But, like, got me, sort of that tingling feeling, you know? Like, oh, this is gonna be good. Could I say something in Japanese? 日本語で何かが言えるだと思いますね。はい。日本語が話せる。ちょっと、今この電脳は、コースを探し、今、リボンロードにしますね。はい。今日、リボンロードは、ゲームボーイアドバンスからの、レーストラックですね。かなり長くて難しいだと思いますね。Okay, I'm gonna switch back to English now because I don't think anyone in chat can speak Japanese. No, come on. Okay, there we go. Oh, great. Nope. He's like, nope, not having any of that. It depends on what I'm reading. I can also read pretty fast in Japanese, but again, it depends on the material. There's still a lot of kanji I don't know the pronunciation of. I think the thing is people are like, oh, well, if you learn the radicals and if you learn this, you'll be able to learn how to pronounce it or make a guess on the pronunciation. The thing is, though, is I was too impatient for that. I never actually learned how to... The way I learned kanji was never through the radicals. I just kind of did what every other Japanese kid does. And that was to just continuously write out kanji until you learn them. No, I said this is, what I said in Japanese, but I can't remember now, is something to the effect of Ribbon Road is, a racetrack from the Game Boy Advance, and it's quite long and difficult. Something like that. I can't remember. Oh. Oh, nope. Great, come on. Oh, 6th place. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, well, there's Sei, there's Nama. Those are the two most common, actually. Sei and Nama. There's a couple others. Mostly they're exceptions, really. 今どうしようですね。仮3つ別の選択がありますね。平方の鉱山、骨骨砂漠とクッパーキャッスルの骨骨砂漠にしますね。このもっと乾いている砂漠のレベルがかなり好きだと思いますね。今みんなの投票を待っています。はい。はい。何 ?1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。はい。主にお任せですね。いくつかの平和の鉱山とキャッスル。私は一つだけの鉱山です。お任せ。このサブウェイ、リンリンメトロのコースにしますね。これはかなり新しいDLC からのレベルですね。このレースコース。Noko? Wait. Noko is in... What do you mean, Noko? In what context? Wait, this is a bit sudden. If you give me some context. Do you mean like from the, was it from one of the... Whoa, wait. Is this 200cc? This feels like 200cc. This is too fast. I think this is 200cc. Oh my god, Whoa! Whoa, my god. Too fast. This is too fast. I don't like this. Oh my god. And this still isn't even as fast as normal race cars go in real life. How on earth do people manage? Oh, that makes it easier because I can just do that. Noko? No, I said kono. I think I don't know. I don't even know when I said noko. Noko in terms of what? Oh, CC is, I don't know, it's like the speed they go. Tsuru Tsuru... Tsuru Tsuru Twista. I like that name. That's better than the... We're gonna go with Sky Garden. I don't remember what it's called in English. It's called Sky Garden in Japanese. Sky Garden. それは他のMario Kart のアドバンスからのコースですね。今次のコースは選択されています。のこの There's kono. Do you not mean noko noko? Noko noko is how you say Koopa in Japanese. Noko noko. What did I think of the Olympics? Pretty boring. You know, I'm not... Oh, great. I'm not really that into sport. I watched some of the opening ceremony. I actually had a Japanese lesson right when the opening ceremony was happening. And also, my Japanese teacher, like me, was not particularly bothered about it. She said that most people in Tokyo, where she lived, was sort of described the opening ceremony as being like a funeral atmosphere. Which is, to be honest, pretty apt. The closing ceremony also had a similar vibe. I actually like the closing ceremony a little bit better than the opening ceremony, but overall, they were both very subdued and kind of crap, to be honest. Which was expected because, well, they did it because of the pandemic, didn't they? You know, that was always, it was never going to be flashy. I just realized this, yeah, this level's in reverse. You know what I'd like to see in the future with Mario? Desert levels that aren't focused on Egypt. Because, I mean, let's be honest, we've had enough of those. Every single desert level in Mario has been solely focused on Egypt, pretty much. Uh-oh, that's not good. I missed the item block. I would personally really like to see a level based on kind of more, well, you could do one based on Iranian sort of stuff, or I'd kind of like that Khaliji atmosphere, you know, like sort of northern UAE, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, those kinds of places, you know? I think there's a lot of unique architecture, not just modern architecture, I think traditional architecture and stuff that can be explored and would make for an interesting setting. Actually, no, maybe not all of the desert levels have been... I think maybe one or two are focused on other stuff, but... Well, yeah, but that's a technicality, really. I did pretty well there. Actually, no. I mean like Mario Kart. Oh wait, no. Yeah, you're right. Actually, in the one in Mario Odyssey is an exception, which was done really good. I actually made a couple videos about that years and years ago. I did stuff about the Mexican stuff in Mario Odyssey. There's the Olmec head. There's the pyramids. There's the little kind of Mexican town with the kind of more colorful Dia de los Muertos stuff. Sí, en Mario Odyssey podemos ver las influencias desde la cultura de México y América Central y un poquito de Latinoamérica en general, como Easter Island y otros países. Enough of the Spanish. I should have set Mario Kart into Spanish, actually. Well, actually, no. I play Splatoon in Spanish because I can't play Splatoon in Japanese because Splatoon is quasi-region locked. You can't actually play the European version of Splatoon in Japanese because of regional differences in competitions and Splatfests and stuff. Let's see. How many languages do I know? Well, English, obviously. I grew up learning Arabic. That was the second language I started learning at school. We learned Fusha, which is modern standard Arabic. Then there's also like Emirati dialect, which is different. I guess they're both technically Arabic, so I suppose that counts as one, but they're very different registers. Japanese I started learning when I was 13, 14. And then after... Oh no, and Spanish I started learning when I was like 12 or 13, I think. And then after that, I know a little bit of Sinhalese because I was sort of raised in my very young years by a Sri Lankan nanny. You know, just enough to read like basic road signs and stuff, really. Well, I suppose by that logic, I can also read a bit of Greek and Turkish. I mean, in terms of conversational, there's like Spanish, Japanese, Arabic, and English are the main ones. But then there's other stuff like I said, when I went to Turkey, Istanbul, and I spent some time with a really rich Turkish family. The guy, I think he was the head of the second biggest bank in Turkey. I went over for like an exchange program in school. So I learned how to read basic Turkish when I was there. They taught me how to read basic Turkish. And then when I went to Greece for a little bit, I learned how to read basic Greek on the plane there. So I could read, you know, road signs, just general things. And some phrases, you know, like kalimera, kalispera, kati treti stagiftika, that kind of thing. Just, you know, all the useful phrases. And I'm in 12th place again because I've been focusing on chat. See, this is what happens, chat. When I spend too much time paying attention to you, I lose out. You had to learn Gaelic in school. Scottish Gaelic or Irish Gaelic? Neither of which I have any clue about, to be honest. There was a long time ago, I tried learning a bit of Gaelic, didn't go anywhere. Women are your motivation for learning Spanish. Well, they call it a romance language. Well, they don't call it a romance language for that reason, but I think people say that French, Spanish, Italian are supposed to be romantic languages. I suppose so, really. Like, I don't know, when it comes to like, it's very like, very kind of like, it is more gentle. Because you have like, I'm trying to think now. It's just general more gentle, like you have like sorpresa, which is like, you know, surprise. And then you have in Japanese like odoroki, which is also kind of, you know, gentle. And then in something like German, you have Überraschung, In Arabic, is surprise is how do you say surprise? Mufaja is surprise. Yeah, that's kind of that's sort of soft, I suppose. Okay, this speed is a lot more manageable than the last time we played this. Like, dear lord, I could not deal with that the last time. It was way too fast, and I am very close to falling off one of these platforms. Oh, I've got mushrooms. I might... Actually, no, if I keep these for too long, someone might steal them eventually. May as well use them to get it. Yep! Ha! See, I just said that. I just said if I keep these too long, someone's gonna steal them. And what happened? Somebody stole them. I wonder if that'll actually reach anyone. Oh, I just realized if you listen to the music, you can hear the theme, the leitmotif for, the underground theme for the original Super Mario Brothers. They, I think, overused that maybe a little too much. And that sounded like a clavinet, I think. A lot of interesting instruments. This is supposed to be a subway station. I think it's a bit like Grand Central Station or something in the States, but on some levels it also reminds me of some of the larger stations here in the UK. They're a bit like this. Ah, the memories of commuting to university every week when I did that. No, 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 no! Shit. And I came in 4th. Not bad. What's this? Irish. Yeah, Irish is a little bit different to Scottish Gaelic. As far as I know, Scottish Gaelic's a little bit more traditional in some ways. What about Romanian? Oh yeah, I suppose that is a Romance language too. Sorry for my placing. What placing? Oh right, oh yeah, the race, I suppose, of course. I haven't finished university yet. Well, I sort of have. I have a bachelor's degree technically, but I haven't graduated. But in Scotland, university lasts for 4 years, so if I want to do an honours degree, which is what I'm currently going to do, then you stay for another year, which gives me more time to job hunt, which is good. But if I do get a job offer from somewhere, I am just going to leave university, because I'm so fed up with university. The skylight does make it look very British. Oh, hello, Sax. No, we're just talking about, stuff. People are asking me how many languages I can speak and whatnot. And then other assorted questions. Ah! Oh, I didn't realize we are playing oh, I love... This is my favorite Mario Kart level. Okay, sorry, chat. I'm gonna have to ignore you again because I am gonna do good on this one. Except this is in mirror mode, and I'm not so good at this one in mirror, but... If I can't place myself good within this one, there is no hope left for me. Famous last words. Oh, not off to a great start. I'll get there. Right, come on. We're gonna catch up. Bowser is a heavyweight, but I've got him in a good choice of cars, which will hopefully make it easier to drift. Well, it does make it easier to drift. Right. Wow, I think I managed to throw that quite far. Oh no, that's not good. I keep missing those item boxes. That's crucial. Oh, but I'm 6th. 7th, 6th. Alright, come on, this is it. Focus. Come on, come on! Okay, 7th. Not great, but like... Any university tips for someone who will join university for the first time? Oh, what are you going to study? My advice would be... It depends on what you're going to study, but honestly, don't expect to actually learn anything while you're at university. You'll probably learn stuff when you start your first job. Like, there's no... I found it very unrewarding. How's the smartest British man alive? I don't know if I'm that smart. You know, I feel a little bit annoyed with myself because I went into a discipline that's very not skilled. Well, it is skilled. It's technically professional work, but like, I feel like I probably could have done myself better and gone into a more traditional discipline, you know? Sometimes I feel like if I wanted to really be an engineer or a doctor, I probably could have been, but... Like, I ended up at a university which didn't really want high grades, and most of the people on my course don't seem to be very well qualified before they came to university. They didn't do very well. A lot of them dropped out of school, which is... Oh yeah, because it's quite late in wherever you are, so see you later, Vincent. But yeah, oh! Now we're doing Sky Garden. Yeah, don't expect to learn anything significant from university, really, unless you're doing something like, you know, something very, like, law, doctoring, medicine, engineering. Like, I guess a good rule of thumb is if you're doing a BSc, a science bachelor's, you will probably learn quite a bit towards your profession. If you do what I did and you study for a BA or a Bachelor of Arts, your degree is probably crap and not very useful. I feel like that about mine, that it's not very useful, it won't be very useful, and honestly, like, with any other degree, I probably could get the same kind of position. University today is kind of a scam, he is kind of right, I would say. It certainly felt like that to me. I'm lucky. Because in Scotland, university is completely free. I don't have to pay for it at all. And some of the English people I know that came up to Scotland to study, they have to pay. So I actually feel quite lucky because I don't feel like my university is actually worth paying for. So yeah, I would agree. Modern university is a little bit of a scam. Degrees have become undervalued. They're not very useful anymore, a lot of degrees. Yeah, it is. Like I said, I'm lucky because I don't have to pay for it. And actually, the Scottish government gives me loan money anyways for rent, which I don't know if I'm actually going to go and live back up by my university. I think I'm probably going to just commute because from my parents' house, it's only like an hour and a half by train and bus, so it's not that far, which means I get to stay at my parents'. And I can use the rent money that the government gives me to buy other things, like, well, for the record, legally, I did not do this. This is a joke, because otherwise I would be doing something which may not be legal, but I took some of that money that they gave me last year, and I bought a giant Bowser statue with it, which I posted pictures of on Twitter. It's this huge, massive thing, which now, oh screw it, sits right next to in my room. This giant Bowser statue. There was an education reform when COVID hit. They're talking about education reforms now in the UK, but I can't see anything changing. A lot of people got really good marks this year, but that's only because they didn't have to do any exams, which is a bit of a cheat. Let's do Dragon Road or Dragon Raceway? I'm not sure. Oh, well, there was that, and then also I got a lot of art commissioned after I got my month's money every month. I just got a letter from them recently saying that they've reconfirmed my application for grant money. Well, it's not. It's a loan, not a grant, because I do have to pay it back eventually. Yes, I can neither. I bought the statue with a large quantity of money, which I received, which I can neither confirm nor deny came from the Scottish government. Actually, my granddad also gives me a little bit of money, which is very nice of him. But the money that he gives me barely covers my Japanese classes' expenses each month. Because it's very, oh, what was I saying now? Oh, are we doing 200cc again? Yeah, people's taxes. Thank you, British taxpayer. Oh yeah, well, oh no, that's what I was saying. I do one-on-one Japanese lessons, so they're very expensive. But the teacher's very good. You know, she's really nice. Probably the best Japanese teacher I've ever had. And I actually feel like I'm making really good progress. I said this before in another stream, but I really highly recommend one-on-one lessons. I started out doing one-on-one lessons when I was younger, because I was too young to do classes at a university, and also when I was in Dubai they didn't have any Japanese classes anywhere that I could do, so I had to do them one-on-one at home with a Japanese teacher. But like when it comes to what was I saying? Yeah, like last year I went from not being able to hold any kind of conversation at all in Japanese to being conversationally fluent. You know, a great improvement. I mean, it depends on how many hours you can put in. But, like, even, like, me as a full-time university student, I did night Japanese classes every week, and then after that, now, I do, you know, a weekly Japanese class on a Friday myself. It's manageable. Whoa. Oh, yeah, I can understand from an American point of view. American education system's not great. Originally, I planned to go to America, actually. That was my original intention. I wanted to study in America. I looked at a whole bunch of places. One of them was Digipen, actually, which they do game design stuff in Digipen. But it was just too expensive. It was, like, gonna be, it was, like, I looked at how much it was gonna cost. I'm just going, omakase. And essentially, it was gonna be, like, $100,000 a year or something. Because as an international student with international fees and insurance and medical and rent, it was, like, I just couldn't afford it. Actually, a friend of mine did go to America, and her parents sold a flat that they owned in the middle of the city, in the city that she was studying in before, so that she could go, because it was a lot of money. Like, and she was working like, she's currently working like 3 jobs or something when she's there. It's crazy, but she wanted to, she hated the university I'm still at. She hated it so much, and she thought the education quality was so crap compared to that in America, that she left, and then after her exchange, she just never came back. Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't like, it was Japanese classes at a university, but like lifelong learning, so you know, like night classes that you pay for separately. So I did those, and yeah, the thing is, you're only as fast as the slowest person in the group. And, you know, and at that time, I'd done the N4 for Japanese, I think, and there were still, like, even, like, before the pandemic started and I started doing one-on-one lessons, there was still people in my group who couldn't read hiragana or katakana. They eventually had to give up because the next textbook we started to use was fully in kana. But, like, it just shows you how slow, and progression is very difficult. It's very... And you don't have access to, like, you only have access to the teacher a little bit. You're mostly talking amongst yourselves, practicing as both as language learners. So it's very, like, difficult. I mean, my teacher was... I really liked my teacher there at the university. She was really nice. You know, she was really kind. You know, I still keep in touch. And actually, you know, she used to take us all out for dinner at the end of the semester. You know, we'd all go out to a restaurant and, you know, and do stuff. It was nice. But it just wasn't fast enough. But, like, now, at least for every week, for, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm speaking Japanese with a teacher, with an actual, you know, fluent native Japanese person. And on top of that, you know, I have a friend of mine that I met, you know, while he was on exchange at university. At the university that I was doing Japanese classes at, not the university that I'm doing my degree at. He was doing an exchange there, and he wanted a conversation partner for English. And I was looking for someone to practice Japanese with. So we still keep in touch now that he's back in Japan. We do Skype chats and that kind of thing. So that's quite good. AI the Seminium files for reading and shadowing practice. What's that? Or some... Oh, an adventure video game. You know, actually, truth be told, I'm playing this in Japanese right now, but, like, I actually don't really play many video games in Japanese. I only really play Switch games in Japanese. I don't play computer games in Japanese. Although I do have a Japanese... Well, obviously, I have a Japanese keyboard on my computer, but... I have a lot of Japanese books, though. I don't have any Japanese manga or anything, or any anime, because I'm not really... I have some manga in English, like 2 or 3 books. That's it. I have, like, 1 set of Pokemon manga in English, and then a couple other random manga books in English, but I'm not really that into manga. Much, really. Maybe, like, once or, you know, a couple times I've read stuff, but it's not... It doesn't really capture my attention too much. But I read a lot of, like... Just, like, normal Japanese books. Like, I have a lot of Japanese books on font design and typography. I have a couple Japanese books about religion. And culture. And just yesterday... Oh, no, today. I got 2 new Japanese books delivered, which are about game design. I thought it would be good for me to kind of learn more of the terminology and how things are done in Japan compared to here. You know, just so I can be ready for my next application. Gyakuten Saiban. I always get people recommending stuff to me, like, anytime people see me playing games in Japanese on the Switch, they're like, oh, you play games in Japanese? You should try this, or you should try this anime, or this manga, or whatever. I think you'll like it. And I'm like, I'm not really that into that kind of stuff. I do pick up a lot of random Japanese books. I have a list of books I want to buy on Japanese Amazon. Although that's not as long as my normal reading list on Amazon UK. There's a massive list of books, and the thing is that, like, I don't really like buying digital books when I can because, well, there's a couple reasons for that. One of them is I like having, like, a physical book that I can read, you know, and put on my shelf. I like having, like, full shelves of books. But also, like... But the other thing... Oh, normally I'm good at this level, but I'm paying attention to chat. The other thing is that, actually, if you read the fine print on Amazon, when you buy a Kindle book, you don't actually own the book. You just get a perpetual license from Amazon. And this is the same reason that I still buy physical games mostly when I can, like for the Switch. I always buy physical. And that's because you actually own it, as compared to taking out a perpetual license, because honestly, screw that. I've had enough trouble with Adobe and Maxon and all these other computer program software licensors. It's a hassle. Side note, you love my voice. You watch a lot of British YouTubers. I'm the most spoken one. Actually, that reminds me, the first time when one of my videos got popular on Reddit, one of the first comments, well, a lot of the comments I received were people saying, I really love your voice, I love your voice, and it's like... Yoshiki Okamoto... Actually, yeah, that would be interesting. I need to do more listening practice in Japanese, actually. See, that's the problem. I don't listen to any anime or anything, so I don't really have much listening practice for Japanese outside of conversation practice. Like, I don't have practice listening to stuff. I did recently, I started watching an anime called Dragon Goes House Hunting, which I sort of randomly came across somewhere. And that was kind of alright. I sort of stopped watching it, but I was watching that in Japanese, although I have to admit I was also sometimes using English subtitles because I was more interested in watching it for just the content instead of that. Like, one of the rare times I was watching for the content instead of just the language. Apart from that, actually, I have one Japanese DVD. I have a historical drama, which I imported from Japan on a Blu-ray, which was a pain because it cost so much money, and then I had to rip the Blu-ray from the DVD because apparently, even though my computer has a Blu-ray drive, you need to pay for Blu-ray software, so I had to use freeware to rip the image off the DVD. But that was good, but the problem was is that was a historical drama set in the Edo period, and everyone talks sort of old-timey. Well, actually, from that, I actually did pick up a lot of old-timey Japanese, but the problem is, you know, I used a little bit of it when I was speaking to my Japanese teacher, and she's like, if you ever talk to someone like that in real life, they're gonna give you a really weird look and be like, you know, did you just step out of a time machine from the Edo period or something? Like, what's wrong with you? Introducing yourself like a samurai instead of a normal person. For example, talking about archaic Japanese, if you want to introduce yourself in Japanese, normally it's a very simple affair to introduce yourself. Like, if I was introducing myself as, well, Daniel, you know, as I do, you could just say, Konnichiwa, Danieru desu, which is, hello, I'm Daniel. You can say, there's a whole bunch of different ways. Danieru tomoshimasu, which is more like for a business occasion, which is sort of based on the old formal version I'll get to in a minute. You have, yeah, you know, watashi wa is usually what you say, watashi wa Danieru desu, or boku wa. But if you're introducing yourself in very sort of humble, archaic Japanese, you gotta go down the road of something like Sessha Danieru Tomos, which is very like sort of samurai sort of mannerisms. You know, if you use the word Sessha to introduce yourself, you're putting yourself very kind of low down, sort of below the person you're talking to. It's a sign of sort of submission that you're being polite to someone. But no one uses Sessha anymore outside of historical dramas. You're gonna be like... You say that to someone, they're just gonna look at you really funny and be like, why are you talking like that? Amazon Amazon shipping generally... Yeah, it can be quite expensive, but generally not as expensive as some of the other shipping methods. Like, some old books, like, actually, there were some books that I couldn't buy from Amazon Japan. I had to use a proxy service. Amazon Japan is actually reasonably decently priced for overseas shipping, considering that you don't pay import taxes. But if you're gonna use like one of these proxy services, I recommend Buyee. They're the cheapest that I've found. From Japan is incredibly expensive. Buyee's been really good. They do stuff really cheap, reasonably cheap actually, and really good service, really quick. Apart from that, there was also some times where even that didn't work. There was one of the font companies I'm a client of in Japan. Well, I say a client, that's what they call me. Fontworks, you know, because unlike every other person on the internet, I actually pay for fonts instead of just illegally downloading them. Because I was a customer for so long, they wanted to send me a catalog of all their products. And because I gave them a Japanese address, because I gave them my friend let me use his address in Japan, because technically you're supposed to be inside Japan to purchase their stuff. I had to have the catalog sent to him. I paid him shipping money, and then he posted it to me from Japan. Sesha is not like... It's like... Sesha is more like... Sesha is a term you use to refer to yourself. So it's more like saying this humble person or this low-down person, you know, in reference to yourself. Like, if you say Sesha Daniel Tomos, it's like saying this humble person is called Daniel. That's kind of how you introduce yourself. I think actually originally in our sort of archaic language it means something to the effect of clumsy or low down. And it's just basically a way of... I mean, there's lots of different ways to refer to people. Like, if you're gonna... I mean, if you're talking to someone... Anata-sama is, I guess, the most colloquial, very, very polite way of referring to someone. But that's it. Well, using Anata... You shouldn't really use Anata, because Anata's very direct. But Anata-sama is very, like... Very formal. Very, like, sort of... Like, even in, like, a business situation... I would say the best thing to do if, like, say, for example, if you were going to an interview, this is from my interview book that I bought about Japanese interviews. If you are in an interview situation, the best thing to do instead of using something like Anata-sama is just to memorize the interviewer's name, and just to use his name. So, instead of saying you to someone in Japanese, the best thing to say is their name. Because... See, in English, right, if you were to refer to someone like that in English, it sounds a little bit weird, directly. Like, if you were saying to someone, you know, how is Mr. Whatever, and you're talking directly to the guy, it's a bit weird. But in Japanese, it's kind of normal, you know. And even actually, to refer to yourself, you can refer to yourself in the third person without it sounding strange as well. Because if you do that in English, you will be seen as being very sort of rude and high-handed and weird. Whereas in Japanese, not so much. When you, yeah, it's more like, but I'm a humble servant. The whole pronoun thing is kind of... Japanese people don't really use pronouns much. They're kind of... You can, in certain situations, they're good, but, like, mostly, I was told the advice, if you use the pronouns a lot, you'll sound like a foreigner. Whereas in English, English is very, kind of, it's baked in. In Spanish, it's also kind of, it depends, I suppose. When it comes to Arabic, Arabic's different, because Arabic, like, is very... I don't know the word, but, like, you don't really... I mean, there are pronouns in Arabic, but, like, the way Arabic words work is you kind of, like... You kind of add things on to the end of words to, like... what's it? You only really add the stuff onto... Well, you add different endings onto the end of Arabic words depending on the... Well, there's the gender. And also... Just like who you're talking to and what you're talking about. It's different. That's the thing. The context is... But what I often find is sometimes... That's the thing that I still need to work on in Japanese. Like, remembering when something is contextual enough that I don't need it. And there's been occasions where I thought that it was unnecessary to specify about whether I was talking about myself or in general in a conversation. And as a result, the context was misunderstood because it was assumed that I was talking about someone else when in fact I was talking about myself. That's happened a couple times recently. I've made a statement and then the person I was talking to was like, oh, is that your opinion? And I'm like, oh, no, no, that's not my opinion. That's just kind of the general vibe I get from something, you know, and then I have to clarify. But it happens a lot. In Japanese, people also, like... People in Japanese also clarify, like, certain words. Like, if you say sento to someone, as in, like, battle, sometimes, in response, I've heard people say batoru. Because, you know, people in Japan also use the katakana word batoru instead of sento. How long have I been live for? Since about 10 o'clock. Ah, so I've been live for about an hour. Not too much. I think this is a bit more chill than when I did my Mario Advance stream, because I think the Mario Advance stream was a bit, it was a bit more kind of high maintenance, because I had to keep stopping to look at maps, and this is a little bit more... There's more flow. I better stay away from him. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. I made a mistake. Didn't oopsie. Didn't mean to do that. It does. I always tell my Japanese teacher that I don't like katakana words because it makes me feel like it's not proper Japanese, you know. But it's true. In Japanese, like, using the katakana words is better. Like I know a lot of really old-timey Japanese words from, like, before. Like, because after World War II, a lot of the katakana influence came in. But before that, there was a lot of traditional words still in use. And I know a lot of the traditional words, but, like, if you spoke to someone like that now, you'd sound like a 80-year-old man, you know? Like, the example I always use is, now people just say kamera for camera, or digikame, digital camera. But a long, long time ago, the word for camera was, shashinki, which means photograph machine. There's shashinki, what else? I suppose rokugaki, video camera, I suppose. And then, you know, you can kind of make up sort of calcs, they're called, for other words. Like, you can kind of combine stuff like, well, escaleta is how they say, escaleta is just the word for escalator, or yeah, in Japanese, but, like, you could probably say something like denshi kaidan, or jidou kaidan, and people would know what you're talking about, but it just sounds really archaic. Wow, hit. It's very difficult to hit someone with a shell. I like to throw them back and cause chaos because I think that's the easiest way to cause damage. Oh, more shells. God, everyone... Actually, no, it looks like a lot of people are getting shells. Actually, I wonder if they, I wonder if they tweak the kind of items you get on courses, so maybe on certain courses you're more likely to get certain items. I wonder if they do that. Because obviously they do that per place in a race. But I'm not sure about level. They should. Because that could make for some interesting combinations, I think. Right. Yeah, electronic elevation structure. Whoa, that was close. Okay, I'm doing reasonably well. Yes! I came in third! That is brilliant. Opinion on the Twitter font update. I did a post on Fontendo about it, actually. But I tried to remain neutral, but I did say that initial reactions have been mixed. But it's true, I don't like it. It's too rounded and it's too small, and it's because of the roundedness of each of the shapes and the letter forms, it's too difficult to read at small sizes, especially I've, spoke to people who are dyslexic. And that's a big factor to consider, especially for a website and you're talking about user-friendliness and user experience. It's too rounded and too many people are confusing the letter forms too easily. So therefore, my opinion is that Chirp, from what I've seen and sort of evaluated from Chirp, maybe not the best choice. I think they could have... I can see what they were going for with the font, but I just don't think that they've done it right. I think what they should do is maybe make it a little bit bigger. I think that would probably fix a lot of the issues. But I mean, it's what people say. I remember seeing a lot of graphic designers and stuff on Twitter always like, oh, people are never happy when a font gets changed in a logo or on a website or something. And they're like, oh, people will just accept it eventually. People are always mad. But I think part of that is just a lot of graphic designers are too stuck up to realize that a lot of people actually don't like their work. And maybe, yeah, you have the practice and you might know better than some people, but if you're designing a website for people, you should listen to their feedback. And, if they don't like it, maybe figure out why. Turn their feedback into something meaningful and learn from it. That's the only way that you're going to make a better product. And unfortunately, a lot of people maybe don't communicate their feedback in the best of ways. But you can still take that, and you can still turn it into something constructive. In most cases, you can get some kind of message out of it. Whoa. I can see chat moving, but unfortunately I am keeping my eyes on the road. Like a good driver. Although I say that, I don't actually know how to drive in real life. I did do driving lessons for a while, but it was a little bit too overwhelming and scary. I wasn't particularly happy, so I stopped. But I suppose I'll have to go back at some point because I'm sort of being pressured into learning again by my parents. Why haven't you learned how to drive yet? You need to learn how to drive. Oh, I'll get to it eventually. I am so close. There we go, first. I'm not a well, it depends what you mean by graphic designer. I studied graphic design principles and stuff at school because obviously that was part of my course. I've done graphic design classes and user experience and user interface classes, although actually, funnily enough, I didn't do very well in those classes. But outside of it, I have more of an interest. I wasn't so interested. I mean, I had a bit of a crap teacher, but yeah. I wouldn't call myself a graphic designer, but oh, see you later, Rigid Rat. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. But like, I have an interest in fonts. Actually, after I do my current degree, I'm considering going to do a master's degree in typography in England. That's a real possibility because I think it's something that I might be good at. I've done font design stuff. I'm actually still doing font design stuff. A lot of people on Twitter follow me for font design stuff, which I'm glad a lot of them still, well, hopefully they still do. I think some people have been quite tolerant because I haven't posted much about my font design work recently, but that's because I've been trying to keep it a secret for one of my next Fontendo videos because it's integrated into that, and I think it's going to be interesting. I think it'll excite a lot of people, what I've been working on. But I haven't had much time to work on it recently because of other commitments. No, this isn't the mirror, is it? This is the normal one. A designer is a title without any authority added to it. Yeah, you're sort of right. It's very nebulous. And the other thing is, like, I suppose a lot of people don't like to admit it, but a lot of design disciplines rely on very similar principles to begin with. So if you're a designer in one field, I think the chances are that you can very easily transfer to another design field. Or at least that's the impression I get from the various design disciplines that I've been, you know, studying at university. And the other issue apart from that is that like, a lot of design work, unless you're like really high up in an organization, and I just know this because like a relative of mine is a graphic designer. That's what he does as a job, and he gets paid like peanuts. Like he makes barely any money. It's not really a proper sustainable job unless you go to a large firm with promise of career progression. And that's why a lot of people do it freelance. It's this whole idea of 0-hour contracts or the gig economy and people doing freelance work, and it's dumb. Freelance work, a lot of freelance work that people do on the internet, and I know because I've done freelance translation work and I've done other freelance work before, it's not sustainable and it will not pay for rent or food or basic necessities. Well, the common basis function, but I mean just in general, like when you learn in the most general sense design theory, it's very, very wide in scope. And in my opinion, a lot of it is very easy to learn. So yeah. You know, the other thing I don't like about the new font on Twitter is that there's no bold. Like, it's too... Some of the bigger text is too thin. That's one of the things I don't like. Oh, it's 11:30. Alright, we'll do a couple more races and then I think I'm gonna dip out. But next Wednesday, during the Pokemon Direct, I asked people on Twitter if they wanted to watch me live stream the Pokemon event, and people said yes, apparently, so I will be streaming my reaction to the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Pokemon Legends Arceus Pokemon presentation, because obviously I have a lot to say about Sinnoh, as you will find out. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal too much of my thoughts and ideas in the reaction, because obviously a lot of it is more lengthy video essay stuff. But, you know, there'll be my initial thoughts, hopes, fears, regrets, whatever, about the presentation and the games. Oh, this is a mirror course, I just realized. I stopped playing Mario Kart 8 for a while, but I got back into it because it's a very, like, easy game to just, you know, pick up and play. Oh, I stopped short. That's not so good. Whoa, that was close. Oh. I can see chat moving again, but I'm just gonna have to leave it for now because I need to focus on this. I want to get a good place in the race. Actually, this would be good because then we can just ride over all of this. You know, I think the problem with this vehicle combination is that I can keep up with people and I can accelerate, but I can't actually pass people unless I have a little bit of help. Oh, that was close. So what are people saying? Yeah, producer. Actually, that's funny you say that because actually the last role that I took in a team when I was developing a game in a group, I was the producer, and I was actually really, really good at it, so that might be something I might end up doing instead. You disagree? You see tons of dysfunction, bad design. Well, I wouldn't say it's hard to learn. Like, theory, it's easy to learn, difficult to put in practice. That's what I think. Because the fundamentals are, you know, it's very, like, they're practically laid out in front of anyone that wants to learn. And there's a lot of material and resources out there. But learning how to properly put them into practice, there's just not enough. It's the same with everything, really. People just don't do enough due diligence and actually look through the things. It always reminds me of what, well, back when I had to do life drawing when I was an art student. You know, just before I went to do game design at university. My life drawing teacher, actually it wasn't just the teacher, it was also the guy that came in to do the model for the life drawing. He always used to say, you look but you don't see. And I think but it's true. That's, I think, true of a lot of people these days. A lot of people look but they don't see. And it's the same when people make YouTube videos about topics, especially when it comes to pleasing the algorithm. and people look for information. They look, but they don't see. And then they read, but they don't understand. Or they read, but they don't comprehend properly. You know, so that's the issue. And it's the same thing with design. People, it's easy to learn, but it's the putting in practice that element is what's missing. But even for like well-seasoned designers, there's always going to be issues with practical implementation. There will always be things that either just don't turn out like you had hoped, or things just go the wrong way. Actually, I wasn't really focusing very much on this. We just kind of ended up in Excite Bike Arena, and I thought, wow, I'm actually doing pretty well despite not focusing very much. My intellect is quite the balm for the brain, friend. I hope that's not sarcasm. I remember once when I went on I had to go on like a... I don't know what's... Well, when I was at school, we did this thing called the Duke of Edinburgh Award, where you have to like go out hiking for like 3 days and camp and like just basically do everything by yourself away from civilization and a group of people, you know, and you get your certificate or whatever. And the whole time when I was out, you know, I thought it'd be a good chance to talk with people about stuff, and people always said that I think too deeply about things, and I ended up just shutting up because people were like, you just talk about crap, Daniel. And also, that was crap. I was in like 3rd place there, and then I went down to 11. That was... Hold on. I am not happy. Where... Ah, there you go. Oshikatta. That was crap. It isn't. No? You don't think so? I get some comments on things, people thinking I'm some kind of... I don't like to... Well, I think it's anyone that considers themselves an intellect as just being pretentious. I don't consider myself to be an intellect, mostly because the intellectual types are the people you find at university, like academics, who just sniff their own farts all day. You know, it's not... That... Generally, the people that consider themselves intellectuals are in no forms intellectuals themselves. They're just posers, really. Insecure posers. If you feel the need to self-describe yourself as an intellect, then that's just a sign of insecurity. I just like reading a lot, you know, and I like finding things out, and I like sharing what I found out with other people. I suppose, in a way, that's probably one of the foundations of what it means to be human, is the act of sharing things with other people. I mean, that's what got us this far as a race, as a species, I suppose. Is that ability to collaborate and share. Oh, right, of course. Sorry, I misunderstood you there. I'm not very good at reading... See, well, while I'm live streaming and people put things in chat, I don't think things through properly, and I tend to read, sort of half-ass my reading. So my apologies there for misunderstanding your intention with what you wrote. Also, it's quite interesting, people still on the internet say wrote on the internet, but you don't really write things on the internet, you type things, and you input things. I think it's quite interesting that people still use the term write, even though you're not actually writing anything, you know? It makes me wonder, maybe eventually that will fall out of favor, because the internet is relatively recent. Maybe one day people will start coming up with a more suitable... Well, I mean, they're sent, messaged, but it doesn't really work for when you're writing very long things. Right, last lap. Maybe... I might be able to pull this back. Maybe. Eighth. Yeah. Saying, you tell people you're interesting, you don't. Just a characteristic. By any chance, have you ever tried the what's it called, Myers-Briggs test? Because I spoke to other people who do the YouTube thing, making videos. People like Loxton, and I think Game Theory as well, they reckon, but that's kind of conjecture. That they kind of, people that make more analytical videos on YouTube all share the same personality type. In general, all the kind of more analytical people on YouTube and kind of those kind of creators share the same personality classification according to that test. Some people don't put a lot of faith in that test, but every time I've done it, I've always come out with the same answer, so, you know, but... What are we doing? Mirror 150. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. The MBTI test. You know, INTP, ENTJ, ESTJ, or, you know, all those ones. Tell me, what is your classification? I'm curious now. I don't... Some people ask, it's a bit like astrology for some people. They're like, instead of what's your star sign nowadays, people are like, what's your MBTI personality classification? And then people, I think that's the other thing. As long as, don't build your whole personality around the idea of a test result, because that's a bad idea. Game Theory makes you sick. Yeah, I unsubscribed from Game Theory maybe like, probably like, I don't know, 6 years ago? And I've not watched any of their videos since. So would you describe yourself as a INTP then? If you've done the test? And then there's a couple different types of each thing, because there's the T, and there's a and something else. There's a T, because there's INTP-T and INTP something else. I can't remember. Oh, you are an INTP. Yeah, actually, when I did the test, I came out as INTP-T. And that's, every time I've done the test, I've come out the same, INTP-T. Which, according to their statistics, makes up roughly 3% of the global population. INFPA. I actually don't really remember all of the classifications. I only remember INTP-T, because that's the one I did. Well, the one I got each time, and that's the one that I remember, because I read all the things for it, so... Yeah. it was very, I guess it was interesting in a way, like, because reading their little summary, like, a lot of the stuff was like, oh yeah, I do kind of feel that way. Especially, like, see, the difficult thing is, like, when it comes to talking about people with the same interests as you, like, there is certainly that level of, like, you know, when you find someone where you can have that discussion. It's good, but at the same time, like, with the kind of stuff that I do on YouTube, like, analytical stuff, especially, this is a problem that I have when it comes to Pokemon stuff, you know, especially on Twitter, you know. It tends to attract a lot of really strange people, and I've had a lot of weird people message me about, you know, when it comes to, you know, I don't want to share too much because I don't want to shame people or anything, but like talking about, I mean, I enjoy talking about the cultural inspirations behind things, and when it comes to Pokemon, there's a lot of cultural and religious, mythological symbolism, obviously, in some of the designs. But when you talk about that kind of thing, it begins to attract some very strange people with very strange ideas and just kind of, I don't know, a weird vibe. And, like, you know, as much as I enjoy talking about those kind of things, I don't want to talk about those kind of things with people that I deem beyond the pale, so to speak. You think yours was a little different? No, every time I've done mine, it's been consistently the same. Also, excuse me again. I never used to like the SNES Rainbow Road on the Wii, but this one I actually quite like, and I'm actually pretty good at, so I'm gonna shut up and just shut up for a little bit and just beat this one. Oh, I've been waiting to do this for a while. There we go. Okay, I'm substantially ahead. Keep it that way. Drift early. Ooh. Is that my control stick? I think it's drifting. I'm having a couple problems. Oh, I'm way out in front. Keep that banana behind me. I'm a shoo-in. Here we go. No, 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 no! Oh, that was so close. Well, no, 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 but like, it depends. No, there's a difference. There's people that you can have a good conversation with that appreciate the nature of a deep conversation. But then I've had some really, really weird people trying to talk to me. Like, no, this is just like a normal conversation. There's some people that are just like, I can't even describe how weird the messages were. Just like, it was just either very awkward or very, like, a very stilted, unnatural conversation, or just something like that. And that, you know, I just can't abide. It was just too weird. But when you find people that are like, what was I gonna say? When you find people that are kind of well-adjusted, I think that's the good, you know, intelligent, someone who's a thinker who's also well-adjusted as a person outside of their cerebral capabilities, you know, good-natured, nice personality, and just is relatively normal, you know, in the mental department, you know, then things are different, you know, it's yeah, can I hint at an example? No, because I think if I see, I don't want to get, well, not get anyone in trouble, but I don't want anyone to, like, watch and realize, oh, that's, you know, me that he's talking about, so I'm not going to say anything, because I feel like some of my examples are so distinct that I think they're too identifiable to the person, or to people, rather, that there's more than one. Although, there were some examples from people who... I'm not sure if they were just young and were going through some kind of weird phase, or, like... maybe they were people that really did believe the things they said, but, like, there were some people that I spoke to that were, like... or, well, one in particular, actually, where I was like, okay, this person really needs to see a psychologist. Or a psychiatrist, isn't it? Not a psychologist. Because something is clearly not right here. But I don't want to... That was actually a really wild conversation. That I don't want to really talk about. Because that was in the past, and I'd rather forget about it, actually. No, I wouldn't say it's like that. No, it wasn't... Certainly, it wasn't anything like that in nature. It wasn't at all sexual or anything. I mean, dear God. Thank the Lord it wasn't. No. It wasn't. It was just... I mean, if I had to compare it to an existing mental disorder, it would probably be something like schizophrenia, really. Or illusions of grandeur. Let's go with omakase. Now, in Japanese, this is an interesting fact. Well, there is you can use the word randomu to mean random, but it's not really like... Generally in Japan, depending on the context, there's different words for how you would describe something that's random. But here, in the English, when you don't want to pick a course and you can pick random, in Japanese it says omakase. And omakase just means... I'll leave it to you, or leave it to someone else. Because in that sense, when you pick omakase, you're leaving it to the computer to decide what's being picked. Leading to humility and valuing others. There's certainly... learning from others and... appreciating others and not being, certainly from my perspective, when it comes to doing my own research, I think I need to learn to collaborate and share more with others still, because I still like to keep a lot of the things I find out when it's for videos. Well, obviously there's reasons like YouTube video espionage, which is a very real thing, you know, keeping things secret, and you become a bit paranoid, but obviously learning from others is good, and I still need to... I think one of the things I still struggle with is accepting when I'm wrong on something that I've been trying to work on. But certainly humility, I think, is a very important value. And I do think that in today's society, just in general, I don't think there's enough humility. I think if people were more humble and had more of a sense of humility just towards other people... I mean, respect for other people, humility for other people, but also a humility towards nature and just, well, the nature of the universe and creation in general. It doesn't have to be religious, but just having that sense of humility. I think maybe humanity would be a lot better off. How the hell did I end up in last place? Alright, time to focus. I think in a way humility, or empathy does come from humility in some ways. Although, I do have to admit, personally, I am not a very empathetic person. I do need to learn to be more empathetic. Actually, one of the interesting details of this level is when you start the final lap. The airport announcer says, this is the final call for whatever flight, which is, I think, an interesting detail. Nope. Oh, he's going to use that. I'm sure he'll use it. Oh, no. Crap. Did he fall? Actually, you know, this level reminds me of recently I found them online because they're a bit difficult to find elsewhere, but I've been watching a lot of air crash investigation documentaries because I find they're quite interesting. I've watched some of them before, but well, a long time ago I used to want to be a pilot until I watched too many of them and decided that I was a little bit paranoid. But I actually have a book somewhere about air disasters. I wonder if it's up here. No, I don't know where it is, but I find that stuff quite interesting. Oh, you must leave. Oh, see you later. Adios. People who actively seek to learn to have to be humble to agree since acquire new skills and yeah, you do. Well, that's the thing. There's that I can't remember what it's called now. That phenomenon of sort of like when people know less about a subject, they're inclined to feel like they know more. And actually, a lot of experts, you know, in many cases, people who are knowledgeable in a certain field feel like they don't know enough, or that they're inadequate, which is the true sign of knowing. Like, yeah, it's sort of like admitting that you don't know something, or that you're willing to learn, or that you have a lack of knowledge. Like, oh, the Dunning-Kruger effect, that's what it's called. Like, actually, this is a quote that I quite like, although it's a little bit different in context, but Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching, who said, not knowing is true knowledge. And, yeah, I think that is actually kind of true. To not know is to know. To not know is to be intelligent. I never make that turn. I need to stop doing that. But right in front of a nice double item. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Adios. I'll get a little bit further and I'll use this mushroom. That's what I get for looking away to read chat. You don't know what you don't know. Well, that's true. It's like, I'm sure it was an American president that said this or something, but like you have, there are known knowns and known unknowns, but there are also unknown knowns and, yeah, so there's known knowns and known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Oh my god, I'm so far behind, I'm never gonna... I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I'm not gonna make it. I've not been doing very well this at the moment. Oh wait, no! There's a glimmer of hope! Oh wait, no there isn't, because I missed the last. Yep. Juicy got kakute sareta node mo. I can't remember what the thing said at the bottom. I was trying to read it, but it always finishes so quick. But it said basically, the order of the race has been decided, so you lost. Dead last. Okay, let's try Koopa City. Okay, wow, it's just past midnight, actually. Wow. Okay, I think I'm gonna make this my last one because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Because I've got a lot to do tomorrow. You know, I find interesting, look at the usernames, is that it's mostly, sorry, I got distracted by one of the patterns on the signs. I thought it looked familiar. What was I saying? A lot of the usernames, it's always like, you have the Americans and the Japanese that have, like, really sort of more out there names, but then if you look at, like, the British names, they're all kind of, like, very mundane things, like Dave! Oh, no, there's Grace there, who's an American, but, like... Yeah, I saw that you posted what it said at the bottom there, but I can't read it right now because I'm busy looking at the screen. Juni ga... I can't remember, was it... something te... I can't remember the word. Kakute, of course. Juni kakute sareta node... kakute shita node... reisu ga... shuryou shimashita. Whoa. Oh, I spoke about that earlier in the live stream, actually, and I wrote about it on Twitter, but basically, I got invited to do the web test, but unfortunately I didn't do so well on the web test, so I was kicked out of the process after that. Which was my fault, really. It was the first question of... the first section of the exam I did terribly on. I should have used that bullet bill when I had the chance. Well, can't dwell on the past. All we can do is... I'm not going to get a particularly good place here, am I? Web test, what was I applying for? I was, it was Seisaku Kikaku-ke, which is production planning. So, yeah, I sent in my entry sheet, and they accepted it, and they invited me to a web test. And I went on Zoom, and I was monitored the whole time by the human resources person at Nintendo. Or one of them. Yeah. It was a very enlightening and interesting experience. I learned a lot by doing that, actually. I feel like I'll be more prepared for it the next time. So if I was successful from that, I would have gone to an interview, and that would have been to, eventually, if I did get an aite, or offer of employment, then it would be, I would be a planner. So it was to be a planner at Nintendo in Kyoto, basically. Graduate employment system, that's what I went through. as is the standard with Japanese companies, you got to, pretty much every big company, you got to do some kind of online test when you apply. That's how they weed people out. Although Nintendo, unlike a lot of other companies, they do their own tests with their own questions that they design, which makes things more difficult. Yeah, I'm hoping to attempt it next year. I delayed my application this year, actually, so I submitted it later and I went into a later group. But I think next time... Well, I did it because I was busy with university, but I'm hoping next time to do it probably earlier in the year, so I'll have a bit more time to... You know, I'll get things done quicker. And also that way I can apply to more Japanese companies at the same time. I'll see you later. Yeah, I'm probably... Well, if I can do well... See, the problem with Mario Kart is you don't want to end on a low. But what else can I do? It's gonna damage me. Tenth. Well, I always intend for my streams to be chill. Because that way they're much nicer. I don't like high energy YouTubers. They're too much work. And they're also mostly fake. One more? Okay, one more. Just because I want to do Warriors Goldmine again if it pops up. One more. Okay, I promise this is the last one for sure. Chill vibes all around. You know, I think I've done a pretty good job so far of attracting the right people to my content. Because, I don't like the idea of attracting the same conventional audience that a lot of YouTubers do, because it would be a bit unbearable. What are you saying? You've heard living in Japan for... you need to have a job. Yeah, if... Citizenship is actually... Again, I've spoken to people that naturalized. It's actually not as hard as people think it is, but yeah, it is true. You do have to give up your original passport. But the process is easier than people say, and there's a lot of rumors that fly around that aren't actually true. But citizenship is always a hard process. I mean, maybe this is just my opinion, but I have a feeling that if citizenship in general should be a difficult process, because it's designed to test you and make sure that you are a good person and that, you know, you deserve the passport and the nationality. Well, nationality more like, but it's passport. Passport does not really equal nationality. No, you don't. You can, but it is, applying from outside of Japan to get a job is always, but is very difficult. I mean, that's the same for most countries, I think. However, I would say that probably applying from outside the UK to get a job compared to Japan, I think the UK is probably easier to come to. Actually, in comparison, thinking about the UAE is really difficult to get to without any kind of employment, to stay there, that is. It's been made easier recently, but still pretty difficult. Certainly for a graduate, to get a graduate job. Actually, in Japan it's the same. Very difficult for a straight graduate from abroad to get a job in the country. And also it's compounded by the fact that in the UAE, it's essentially impossible to actually get proper citizenship and nationality. I mean, there's specific reasons for that. Again, they've made it easier recently, but still, it's still very, very difficult, and the requirements are very strict. Probably the strictest in the world, actually. I believe in Japan, I think in the UK, it's about 5 years to apply for citizenship. I think in Japan it's 10 years. And in the UAE it's 30 years. 30 years of continuous residence. Well, I think I am going to leave it there now because I am getting tired. I'll have to disconnect from the system first. このグループから抜けますか？はい、抜けます。終了する。Yep. Alright, that's me off. But thank you everybody for coming to watch. Viewership wasn't quite as high as the last stream, but I think that's just because of the time that I've done it. But yeah, I'll see you later. For anyone that's still here, Wednesday, 2 p.m. British Summer Time, I will be broadcasting live my reaction to the Pokemon presentation, just because I'm quite interested to see what the contents of it are. But apart from that, good night, and thank you very much for coming along to watch.